Namaste, Jai Kali, Jai Mahadev, Jai Bharat. I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. Remember, if you're fit and fine, you can take better care of your loved ones. So today I'm going to talk about personality disorder. What is personality disorder? So let us understand first what a personality disorder is. So a personality disorder is basically, I would say, a type of a mental disorder in which you have a very rigid and unhealthy pattern of thinking, functioning, and behaving. So, I mean, to sum it up in simple terms, it's a mental illness, a disorder in which the way how you think, behave, react, or you function, it's all very unhealthy, not healthy. So, this is what personality disorder is. So, I mean, if you see a person suffering from personality disorder, they will have a problem in perceiving things. They would have huge issues. They would have issues related to different situation and people. They wouldn't know, or they would just behave ill, or they wouldn't know how to behave. So they have got these behavioral issues also when a person is suffering from personality disorder. And I mean, like, it's quite challenging for a person suffering from personality disorder with his or her day to day living. Things are quite challenging for them. It's not easy. In some of the cases, you may not realize that even you could possibly have a personality disorder because maybe the way how you are thinking, the way how you are reacting, the way how you are processing things. I mean, it could be a possible sign of some personality disorder or the other. So, what we need to do is that we need to evaluate ourselves. We need to look inside, we need to look within and evaluate ourselves as to how we think, why we think, and how we react and why we react. I mean, if we observe the pattern, or I mean, if, for example, if we are unaware or we are unable to see the issues in ourselves, and that's the reason there are experts, psychiatrists, psychologists, and all of them are there to evaluate your problem and help you. So yes, we might be having it as well, and we might not know. I mean, like, it's not that easy. Now, you all need to understand that personality disorder usually begins, in the teenage years. It begins to, form, and it begins to show or give all those signs and symptoms of all these personality disorders. And only if the parent is observant, then they see and observe and realize, and then they seek medical help. But those who are not observant, they just let it go. Okay, oh, it's a child. They'll grow up and they will change. But nothing changes. Let me tell you, you are ignoring. There is going to be a bigger problem that is waiting for you if you're ignoring your children's behavior and everything. So one needs to be very observant, and also, you know, uh, these things occur in. I mean, it begins to show in the teenage, and it becomes a part of a person's personality. It grows up with time if it is unchecked and monitored or treated or managed. It becomes a part of a person's entire personality. The person becomes a very different person, which that person is not supposed to be. So yes, this is how difficult or challenging personality disorders are. It's quite complex, but if you observe and see, I mean, you can understand. And in order to observe and see, also, you need to study and explore these topics and subjects. So that is the reason I thought of simplifying things and bringing it to you all, so that you all can also, understand and observe these things if it is, with someone else, or if it is happening with you. So now let us understand that these personality disorders are broadly classified into three kind of clutter. It is said clutter. And if you want to really explore more about these personality disorders, please refer to the work of Theodore Millon. He has contributed a huge amount of articles, research papers into the field of understanding um, personality disorder. So now, if you see, there are these three clutters that a personality disorder is divided. There are subtypes also, but basically it is divided into three clutters. And as how I go through the clutters, I am going to give you a little bit of feature also as to what these personality disorders are based on. So clutter number one, let's first take I mean, broadly, the personality disorder is, there are 10 kinds. Now, the 10 kinds have further subtypes also. So those 10 kinds are divided into three clutter. Now, clutter number one, let's go to clutter A. Now, clutter A, people having, I mean, like suffering from those personality disorder that fall in the category of clutter A, are very weird to look at. At times, their behavior is very weird and it is very eccentric. So, I mean, there is some portion of weirdity in their behavior or the way how they react, or maybe how they dress up or how they look. Something is a little off. Now, by off, I don't mean to say that if someone is quite fashionable or not fashionable and outdated. No, I don't mean to say it in those aspects, but they are basically weird in their action and behavior. I mean, let's come to that, and let's not get into the bodily looks types, otherwise it will be very confusing. So these clutter A kind of personality disorder, they are very weird and odd and eccentric in their behavior. Now, there are three kinds of disorder that fall under this category of clutter A. The first one is paranoid personality disorder. So, paranoid personality disorder is based around a feeling of suspiciousness, suspicion, paranoia. So, I mean, these people suffering from paranoid personality disorder are all the time paranoid, and they have suspicion as if someone is going to do something, someone is thinking about them, they are going to, do something behind their back, and someone is plotting against their back, and these kind of thought processes there. They're all the time paranoid. So that is the first, personality disorder in clutter A, and that is paranoid personality disorder. The second one is schizoid personality disorder. Now, this also falls into the category of clutter A, and these schizoid personality disorder people are basically, they prefer being alone, and they are very happy when they are alone. They're not happy when they are with people, but they're just happy being alone in their own world. They're just happy. So, I mean, that is one of the signs to look out for if the person is suffering from schizoid personality disorder. They just love being alone. Now, I don't mean to say that, kindly don't generalize my words. I don't mean to say those people who prefer being alone, and all of them fall into the category of schizoid personality disorder. No, there are other aspects to look out for, but the basic things to look out for, I mean, to put and assess a person, whether the person is suffering from schizoid personality disorder, is of course that people suffering from it, they prefer being alone. They prefer being alone, and they're more happy being alone. The third one in clutter A is schizotypal personality disorder. So now these schizotypal personality disorder and the previous one that I mentioned about schizoid personality disorder, and both are somewhat related into the spectrum of schizophrenia. So now coming back to schizotypal, so schizotypal personality disorder, these people believe in a lot of these magical thinkings and superpowers and super abilities, and they are possessed with a lot of things and this and that. I mean, to an extent, they're quite delusional about their own self and capability. They're a little impractical. So yes, I mean, this is, clutter A. I mean, briefly, I have explained clutter A. One is paranoid personality disorder. The second one is schizoid personality disorder. And the third one is schizotypal personality disorder. Right now, moving on to clutter B. Now, clutter B, people, I mean, the personality disorder falling under the clutter B, these people have a very wild dramatic and erratic behavior and mood. The way how they react and the way how they behave, it's quite dramatic and quite wild and quite erratic, right? I mean, clutter B. Clutter A, we did understand that they were basically very weird in their behavior, weird, odd, and eccentric. Now, in clutter B, they are very wild, dramatic, and erratic. They're just too much. Uh, I mean, overly OTT or whatever you call it. They're a little over the top. Now, what are the personality disorders that fall into this category of clutter B? Now, in clutter B, there are the first one is antisocial personality disorder. So, antisocial personality disorder, I mean, like the characteristics. I mean, the basic thing that you can look out for is that they're into violating, you know, they are into violating rights of the others. So, I mean, very, very, you can say they don't respect others' rights. They are really quick in violating others' rights. So they like overriding everyone else, and they prefer themselves to have all the rights. They have, to such an extent that they feel that it's okay to override others' rights. So, I mean, this kind of personality disorder is called antisocial personality disorder. I'll make individual videos on all of these personality disorders later. But yes, I mean, this is just briefly that you can understand. They don't respect others' rights. You know, they just don't respect others, right? And they think they have the right to do anything and everything. So this is one of the characteristics of antisocial personality disorder. The second one in clutter B comes the borderline personality disorder. Now, the borderline personality disorder, I mean, one of the things to look out for is that the person suffering from a borderline personality disorder, they're very unstable with the sense of self and relationships. They're quite unstable. They're not stable and grounded. They're like, one moment they might get angry, one moment they might feel sad, they might feel, I mean, there is huge lot of mood swings and uh, I mean, like the behavior graph, if you see, it's never stable. I mean, like it goes extreme, then it comes down, it goes extreme, it comes down. So they are quite unstable. I mean, to sum it up, borderline personality disorder people are very unstable when it comes to their own selves and in relationships as well. The third one in clutter B is histrionic personality disorder. Now, histrionic personality disorder are very dramatic. They have a very weird sense of grandiousness that, they are above everything, and they want a grand entry, and they want to do everything luxurious and big, even though if they are under debt. They can go to any extreme to project themselves huge, big, and magnanimous, powerful, and people are just bowing, prostrating in front of them. So, I mean, that's also, I mean, I have seen quite a lot of them, I mean, who are suffering from histrionic personality disorder. So, yes, that was histrionic personality disorder. The next one is narcissistic personality disorder. I mean, the last one in clutter B is narcissistic personality disorder. And of course, I mean, I have made other videos also on narcissists, is that they have a very, they are all about self-importance. They are all about I, me, myself, my way is the right way, otherwise highway. So, I mean, this is clutter B and the four personality disorders. I'll repeat it again. One is antisocial personality disorder. The other one is borderline personality disorder. And the third one is histrionic personality disorder. The fourth one is narcissistic personality disorder. Now, moving on to clutter C. And clutter C, I mean, if you would see, these clutter C people are all the time worried, anxious, and fearful. Either they are scared of something, or they're worried about something, or they're anxious about something. I mean, this is one of the common aspects of their personality. They are like all the time surrounded by worries, fear, and anxiousness. So that is clutter C. Now let us get into the different kinds of personality disorder that falls under this category. And the first one is avoidant personality disorder. And these people suffering from avoidant personality disorder, suffer from fear of rejection. They're very scared of being rejected, and that is the reason they just comply. They keep on doing so that they are not rejected and they are not alienated. So this is one of the personality disorders. The other one is dependent personality disorder. And now people suffering from dependent personality disorder have got this dependency issue. They just want to depend. And if they don't have anyone to depend on, they think they are worthless. They only exist if they depend on someone, and they can't do anything. They're just dependent on someone or the other. Or rather, you can say parasitic nature, and they look for hosts. So they're just dependency personality disorder. They just need someone to be dependent on. Otherwise, they don't exist. That's how they think. So that is again the second one, dependent personality disorder. And the third one is the most interesting one. We have often come across, this word OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, but this is very different. This is OCPD. So this is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And the major thing to look out for, I mean, like people suffering from OCPD, is that they are way too obsessed with perfectionism. They want to just perfect everything, with its cooking, their life, their looks, and everything. They're just too obsessed. I mean, you can find some traits of histrionical and maybe to an extent a narcissist. Those traits also you can see in OCPD disorder. So I mean, like, so these people are very obsessed with perfection. They want to do things perfectly so that people are like, wow. And I mean, on a practical note, there's nothing perfect in this world. I mean, imperfections are actually our perfection. So I mean, it's quite stupendous to even assume and to strive for perfection. And I mean, yes, so this was the third disorder in the category, I mean, cluster C. So let me repeat what all we have in cluster C. In cluster C, we have got avoidant personality disorder, we have got dependent personality disorder, and we have got obsessive compulsive personality disorder. So yes, these were the 10 different kinds of personality disorder. And please do keep reading about these things. It's always better to educate yourself and be aware of your surrounding, of your own self, and people that are around you or that surround you. So yes, please do like, share, subscribe this video, and please comment if you see any signs, or if you want to share some experience. Do comment below and hit the notification bell and be updated in case if you want to discuss some things. I do paid consultations, so in case if you would want to discuss something, you can always reach out to me through my mail, that is sarahkhankalidasi@gmail.com. And please take care of yourself, and there is no shame in addressing your problems. It's never too late to fix the problems that you are facing, the challenges that you are facing. So be strong, be happy, and take care of yourself. Bye.